Hello there and welcome back to another Premier League preview, and it's a preview only. No other footage is in this video, just so you know, and it is for Norwich versus Southampton. And this is I actually think this is going to be a pretty decent game. I think you've got two teams that are in pretty similar form. Norwich in ever so slightly better form than Southampton at this moment in time. Let's have a look and see where we are in the Premier League table for these guys. So, obviously we've got Norwich rooted to the bottom of the table right now, but it is still not out of the realms of possibility for them to get themselves out of relegation trouble, but they need to pick themselves up and get their form sorted somehow. They've got 5 wins, 6 draws and 18 losses. There are no excuses for how badly that they've done in terms of picking up results. They play some decent football. It's just not ruthless enough, and they've got a good striker up front in Teemu Pukki, however you say his name. He's a hell of a finisher in front of goal. Somehow, they've got to get things working for them up front. And then obviously we move to Southampton, who are 14th in the table. They will be looking over their shoulder over the next couple of weeks, I believe, because they need to make sure that they keep their points going up and up and up as well to stay in this league. They were in a dire situation near the start of the season, but they've turned things around. They've actually, you know, out of all of the teams that are below them, they have got 3 wins more than any of them. They've just picked up unfortunate losses as well, which have really gone against them. 10 wins, 4 draws, 15 losses. They should be a couple of wins away from keeping themselves secure in the Premier League, but it's not necessarily going to be easy. It really isn't. And Southampton are actually the ones that are in the slightly worse form. You can see on the screen here, obviously take away the Liverpool results for each of them because that's the team that are top of the table right now. But you've got to be looking at Southampton losing to Newcastle, losing to West Ham, losing to Burnley, teams that would normally be in and around them as well. I don't actually know if Burnley are or not, to be honest. Where are Burnley? So yeah, they're a little bit further ahead, 5 points ahead. But even so, teams that are in and around them that you'd be wanting to beat, you know, and obviously people slag off Newcastle and stuff like that, but they've been picking up these 1-0 wins against teams all season. Getting that victory against Aston Villa as well, that stands out because that is something that's quite key to keep them away from the relegation zone as well. But 1 win and 5 losses. Now, we can say you can take form and put it out the window at this moment in time, but it can still show you what was happening before this Premier League break as well, and what can they have done in this past 3 months, this 3-month break, to make sure that they break the pattern. They break the pattern of, you know, losing these games. I mean, look, they weren't necessarily not scoring in games, apart from against Liverpool and Newcastle. They've scored in other games. They're just not able to generate those chances, generate enough chances. 3-2 against, all right, that's an FA Cup game, but 3-2 against Tottenham. Again, it's competitive against a Tottenham team that's been struggling as well. Losing 3-1 to West Ham, that's not a good result at all. They've got to be utilising, you know, Danny Ings, who I personally like. I'm a Liverpool fan, and I love Danny Ings. I really wish it had worked out for him at Liverpool, but seeing him scoring a good amount of goals and being involved and being the deadly striker that we know he can be, they need to get the service up to him as well, but they also need to make sure, more than anything, that they are defensively solid. They need to make sure that they are defensively solid against a team like Norwich, which you would, on the face of it, not expect them to cause too many problems. It seems like Norwich, since they came into the league, they caused problems, but they also make their own problems in the fact that they don't defend solidly enough. And staying in the Premier League, for all of these teams that are in and around the bottom of the table, it will be all about scoring the 1 or 2 goals and defending for your lives. Norwich don't seem to defend with enough urgency from when I've seen them play. It's just not enough. You can't just skirt through the Premier League. You need to be defensively solid at all times. Otherwise, teams will take their opportunities, and by the tail of the table, as it is right now, Southampton are the much better team over Norwich, and Norwich are going to have their work cut out for them against Southampton. Southampton might have got 5 losses out of the last 6 games with only 1 victory, but this has got to be one game where Southampton look at it and say, we have to go and get this win. If they get themselves another game, another win, they pick up the win against Norwich, they take themselves onto 37 points, and they're ever so slightly closer to being able to relax just a little bit and get themselves confirmed as staying in the Premier League. Norwich, on the other hand, all the things that I've just said, they need to be defensively solid. They need to create chances, because you look at the tail of all of these results here, and they've only scored in 2 games. The draw against Tottenham in the FA Cup and Leicester as well, which is just unreal. I think they actually beat Tottenham on penalties or something like that in that game, but regardless of that, they've scored 2 goals in their last 6 games, and that's not good enough. For a team that have got a striker like I was going to say Timo Werner then, like Teemu Pukki, who is a clinical finisher in and around the box, they need to be getting it to him in the best spaces possible, and the whole team working around for him as well. I feel that Norwich could surprise and could get a result here. I just think that Southampton are going to be, the quality of striker that Southampton have is going to be higher than the quality of defenders that Norwich have. And I think that could be the deciding factor here. I think that Southampton are able and capable of scoring goals, good quality goals, and hitting teams on the break. When Norwich lose the ball and they lose possession, they don't always recover very well. And that could be the downfall of this game. In terms of a score prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Southampton win. I don't think that Norwich will be able to get the job done here, and it will make their time in the Premier League a little bit harder. I'm certainly not saying that Norwich can't get a result. They could certainly spring a surprise. You never know how these last 3 months will have been for any of these teams coming back, never mind the team that is at the bottom of the table right now. But I do believe that Southampton will just have that little bit more of an edge, you know, and Premier League experience in that team as well as the goals of a Danny Ings, maybe even Shane Long as well. They've got options from the bench as well that could trouble them. They've got forwards that are going to cause Norwich problems, and I just feel that Southampton will have a little bit too much and will walk away with a 2-1 victory. Let me know what you think in the comments below about this game. It'd be really important and also cool to get your comments in, and let's have a discussion about things in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again, and I'll catch you later.